Hello everyone, welcome to the last day of our Roy Lichtenstein project. At this point you should have a subject matter drawn along with an onomatopoeia word that has been outlined. Obviously you don't have the dots on it yet. I'm going to show you how I accomplished getting dots on her shirt and on the words, also by adding extra spaces. What I did was I used a piece of tracing paper to start, and I put it down, and I need to make a decision about where I want to actually add the dots. You don't want like a little tiny triangle that small, simply because the dots are like this big, and then maybe you'll get like one or two dots, and that's really not going to do a whole lot. If you look at the area of her shirt, that looks really cool. If you look at the lettering over here, that looks pretty neat too. I was thinking about doing her face, but it would be really hard to do her face because I don't want to get her eyes and I don't want to get her mouth. And what we need to do for this project is cut out an area that is completely enclosed. By enclosed, I mean when I did this area over here, I cut out a square or two sides, and I cut out a space like this, cut out the interior. For the word slam, that was also all one piece. So for today's example, I'm going to do a few smaller pieces since my drawing is almost used up at this point. I'm going to maybe add some dots over here, over here, over here, and maybe over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay the tracing paper in the middle of where I want to cut out. I don't want it too close to the edge. If I put it too close to the edge, try to cut that out, it's not going to work out the way I want it to. So I'm going to try to center it, my tracing paper, on where I want to cut out, and then I'm just going to trace the areas that I want to cut holes in. So I'm going to cut a hole over here. I'm going to maybe make this diamond shape, cut this diamond shape out, this diamond shape out, and this diamond shape out. Notice I have to hold it pretty tightly to keep it in place. I could go around, and maybe I'll do this one too, why not? I'm not moving my paper to another area in the middle, I'm just keeping it all in one area. So whatever dots you want to try to put in one space will work. I'm going to do one of these small triangles just to show you that it's not going to be as nice if you just pick one little triangle like that. I'm going to pick my paper up, and I'm going to notice I have some small spaces to cut out. You don't have to do small spaces. You can do one big space like I did when I did this part over here. So when I did this part over here, what I did, like I said, was I put that right in the middle, having some over the edge, and I traced it out like this, like that, and like that. And then I had this space, it looks like a shoe almost, and I took the inside and I did a little snip, and then I cut out the inside. The important thing to remember is that you are going to not cut from the outside in. So a lot of times when you're trying to cut something out, oh, I can cut that out, that's easy, I'm going to start. You do not want to cut from the outside. If you cut from the outside, you're going to need to start over. The reason why is because you will see when I start printing the dots that it will not work out that way. So I'm going to show you how to cut this out. So I would cut this out like this so I have an big interior space. Obviously I already did this one, so I will not be able to do it again, but you will be able to see what I'm talking about a little more easy. So I have a hole that is exactly where I want the dots to go, and I would put it right there, and then when I go to print the dots, I will be, and I'm just going to pretend here, I'll be putting some, obviously not because it's clean, I'm doing it on the paper. I would never do it on the paper in real life. And then I would put it down like this, print it like that, and then it would come up, and then you'd have the dots exactly where you want it. All right, back to my example over here. I'm going to cut out these spaces, and the way you cut out interior spaces is, like I said before, you kind of have to fold it and just put a little snip in the middle. Snip in the middle, snip in the middle, snip in the middle. And then let me fold this little circle, snip in the middle, okay? And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut around. So we are cutting out interior spaces. If you've never cut out interior spaces before and you're unsure, please ask me or somebody next to you that sure they're doing it right. So you're going to have holes. So we're cutting holes inside so that we will have an area to print. This video is going to run a little bit long, I can see. So I'm going to stop it here and I'm going to start a second video that's going to show the printmaking. No, I will finish. It won't take me that long. I'm kind of slow. I want you to take your time doing this because you don't want to cut it wrong. There is a way to cut it wrong, and that would be cutting from the outside. So do not cut from the outside. What you want is a whole piece of tracing paper with some holes cut out of it. All right, 3 left. No, I did put a hole in that one. Good. Cut around. What color should we pick for our dots this time? Let's see, I used blue, I used red. I could use green, yellow, I did use turquoise already, turquoise and red. How about if I use green? I think green would look real nice on here. I like to use dark colors. You could use lighter colors too if you want. You could use the yellow. I feel like that it would show up better if I just use a lighter color like this. All right, one more. All right, so next I should have all of these areas and they're all lined up, and I'm going to line it right up with the circle. Make sure everything is in place. Okay, that's our bell. You're not late. You're fine. That's in the video, not in real life. Okay, so you have holes cut out where you want the dots to go. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this aside. I'm going to move this up so that I have room. Let me make sure that this is big enough. Nope, that's not a big enough piece. I want to get a bigger piece. Hang on, just one second. Grab this piece here. That's the other thing you want to do. You want to make sure that the piece that you choose, which is this piece, is big enough to cover all of your dots all at once. It will just make your life a whole lot easier. And we're going to start with the printmaking. And I have this tray here. I'm going to add some green. And I'm going to roll it. Can you see me rolling it? I don't know. Rolling it in the green. And then I'm going to make sure there's 2 sides to it. One side's kind of flat and the other side has the bumps up. Make sure you rub on it where the bumps are up. Now watch this. This is fun. Woo! So now you can see the bumps, and you'll notice that the ink is only going on the bumps, which is where you want it. Now you really want to ink this pretty thoroughly. If you don't, you're not going to have the dots you want. Notice there's a whole row that looks like somebody popped them, maybe. I don't know. That one's not that good, but that's okay. You'll still get the dots that you want. There we go. I'm going to put that down, and I'm going to put this over here like this. Oops, I forgot to grab another dry roller. I'm going to try to put it down one time so it covers all the dots real carefully. And then I'm going to grab a dry roller like this. So I have another roller. Now this roller has no ink on it. Everything that's wet is away. I only have my dots on top of where I want it. Make sure it's lined up. Did it move on me? Good. And it's okay if the ink ends up on there. I'm just going to roll this on top of my tracing paper. I'm not going to press real hard. I'm not going to press hard enough to pop it. And then I'm going to take both off. Ta-da! And now, oops. Oh no, I got green on the other. Yeah, see, I had it a little bit over the tracing paper on this side here. See that? That's why that happened there. I'm not totally upset about that, but you can see you only have like 1 or 2 dots in some of the smaller areas. Whereas if you choose a larger section like that, you'll have larger areas of dots. And then you can do a whole letter. Anything you do needs to be one enclosed space or a couple of enclosed spaces like I did there. And that's it. And enjoy doing this project. It's a lot of fun. It's very messy. Your ink tray may be used again by another student. However, we will need to sanitize the handle before anybody else uses it. So when you're done, don't just pass it off. Let me know and I will make sure it gets sanitized. All right, enjoy. Have fun.